Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, I am Gulam Anabala from University of Diponegoro. I will present you a journal from Lebensmittel, Wissenschaft with Science and Technology with the title Willingness to Consume Insect-Containing Foods, a survey in the United States by Emily Wolf, Zhao Zhao, Kristen Emery, Jing Zhao, Changqi Liu. Have a good time watching. Why do people have to consume insects or what makes people have to eat insects lately? First, because the population continues to increase, this causes a large number of food needs for the entire world community. The United Nations projects a global population reach of 8.6 billion by 2039, 8 billion in 2050, and 11.2 billion in 2100, with a rapidly growing world population. Providing sufficient food supplies and dietary protein is an urgent matter of public health. Secondly, environmental problems such as land conversion due to the need for a place to live make a lot of agriculture or plantations as well as livestock decreasing, even though this is what supports the world's food needs. So from that, insects become one of the alternative solutions in reproduction as food needs. Third is food security. To fulfill human nutritional needs, such as protein, insects are also one of the foods that have high protein. Therefore, insects can be an alternative solution in meeting human nutritional needs in the future. View of society in US about insect-containing foods or ICF. Entomophagy, consuming insects as food, is a rising topic in Western societies due to its positive attributes on the environment, food security, and nutrition. However, this practice has not established popularity in the United States. In this study, that will be discussed and surveyed about the views of the United States of America in consuming insects. The study was conducted by surveying online questions on demographics. Survey results. By demographics participants, most participants identified themselves as white or Caucasians, 57.4%, followed by Asians or Pacific Islanders, 17.1%, Hispanic or Latinos, 14.9%, and Black or African Americans, 2.8%. Men were more willing to consume ICF on a regular basis than women. They had a wide range of education level and annual income. The second survey showed exposure to entomophagy in the community. As for the question in this questionnaire is whether the public has ever heard of the term entomophagy. Then, if they have heard, from what source of entomophagy they heard. Whether the participants have ever eaten ICF and how often do people consume ICF. Where do people get the food? Then the final question is how the entomophagy experience. Whether the food he eats is clear that it is really an insect or has been made into other food with other forms so that it does not appear that it is an insect. Then participants who eat insects once or regularly are more willing to consume ICF than people who have tried insects once. Those who have tried it have experienced abroad to try ICF. Based on experience, cohorts, participants having good or neutral experience were significantly more willing to consume professionally than those who had bad experiences. So, effect of exposure entomophagy. A survey shows that many people have never heard of the term entomophagy and only a few people have ever consumed ICF. People who have been exposed to entomophagy are more willing to consume more if they have a good or neutral experiences. The factor that prevents consuming ICF is because people feel disgusted and have never eaten. So there are people who have and have never eaten ICF. They feel disgusted when told to consume insects, but there are people who have eaten and had bad experiences, so they feel disgusted too. In essence, people are not willing to consume entomophagy because they feel disgusted and unfamiliar. Another factor is that the culture between America and Asia is different, so that there are few Americans who consume ICF in their daily menu, which is different from Asia, which has a culture of eating insect itself. In addition, people who have never eaten ICF will prefer to mix other ICF foods or process them into other foods such as pasta, bread, or cakes, while people who have consumed ICF will be willing to consume it directly once it is fried, baked, or grilled. So, we know that factors that prevent the consumption of ICF. The major barrier to entomophagy was the disgust factor for participants who had not tried ICF, 67%, and unfamiliarity for participants who had eaten ICF prior to this study, 42%. In this data, we know people who have never consumed ICF will prefer ICF as a mixture of foods such as bread or pasta cakes, while people who have consumed ICF will be more willing to consume it directly whether it is fried, baked, or grilled. Then, how do people accept ICF as their daily menu? The first is to increase ICF exposure to the community, where this exposure will familiarize people to get to know ICF in their daily menu, so that they are easier to accept and familiar with ICF. Secondly, to increase knowledge of entomophagy so that people know what things or benefits are in insects. People will be more willing to try or be motivated to try entomophagy in their daily lives. Third, inform the impact on the environment indirectly, like there is a study in Italy explaining that Italians consume insects. The biggest reason is they want to save the environment. So with the presence of insects, they can save the environment, such as reduce land use change. Fourth, provide information on the nutritional benefits contained in ICF or entomophagy. Insects have high protein as described in the table. The protein content of each type of insect is high, and there are fat, carbohydrates, calcium, and iron. Seek health benefits of eating insects by 6 foods. First, crickets contain triple more iron than dried beans. Second, 4 crickets have as much calcium as a glass of milk. Third, insects are less likely to make us sick. Their distant relation to humans makes it rare for them to transmit disease. Fourth, mopane caterpillars provide 100% of the copper and zinc required per day. Fifth, insects can have up to 81% protein when dried. 6. Palm weevil larvae have more vitamin E than nuts. So, from the survey, we can conclude the study suggests that us consumers are reluctant to incorporate ICF into their daily diet with a mean willingness score of 3 on a 10-point scale. Due to the small sample size, one must proceed with caution when generalizing the findings to the entire US population. Discuss Pest rejection, foodnophobia, and low availability are the main determinants that prohibit the consumption of ICF. increased exposure to ICF and our knowledge of entomophagy led to higher willingness scores. Therefore, the survey could help design effective interventions and marketing strategies to improve consumers' willingness to eat ICF. Okay, enough from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See ya.